Hey everybody, welcome back to Rusty Wrench Restorations. Seems like it was just last week I was putting this bucket over here and standing it up to get out of my way because I wasn't going to be using it, and I still don't really need to use it, but I got to put it back on the 420 loader. She's going away, folks. Yep, my yellow 1956, I believe, John Deere 420 loader is off to new pastures, to a new home. It's actually going to a good guy that I know here locally. He had bought another piece of equipment from me, I guess probably about 2 years ago, maybe. Anyway, I actually sold this piece of equipment to this gentleman to get the funds together to buy the 420. So it's just kind of ironic that now I'm trading that same 420 back for that piece of equipment that I bought to sell. Anyway, it's confusing. If you live around here, you know me well enough, you know that nothing ever lasts long or stays, and things just constantly move and change. Anyway, with that being said, I went and picked up my trailer with the 420. We're going to put the bucket back on the 420 and get some things patched up on it. I'm going to pull the hydraulic pump back off again. Those O-rings are leaking, so I'm going to pull that and fix those for him. But yeah, so probably within the next week or so, the 420 will be gone, and this this new piece of equipment that I owned previously will be back. So as you know, I need something that has a loader, just for moving stuff around. So it's going to have a loader on it, so that you know. But I'll leave the rest of it for a surprise. Well, I guess you'll probably end up seeing it in the rest of the video. So today's video is just going to be me moving stuff around, listening to sirens in the background, and getting the 420 ready to bring to this guy to trade to get my other machine back. So sit back, relax. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button, and let's see what the day brings. Part of our trade deal is he wants a PTO shaft, and you can see in this tractor here there's just a cover. When I got this tractor, it didn't have the PTO shaft either. There was just a piece of plastic covering this. There was a belt pulley that you could use on here. Anyway, I got the correct block off plate for it because I didn't think a piece of plastic would suffice. But it is a PTO tractor. Here's the lever here, and you would pull it up to disengage. So I do have a PTO on my 430 crawler. I will never use a PTO in this thing. I was gonna put the belt pulley that I had from the 420 on here, but I don't think that's gonna end up happening. So as you can see, there's some rust on here. I had the pulley guard, which is that square piece, zoom in right there, and I had that on there. It was stuck pretty good, but I was able to get it off. So to swap the PTO shaft from the 420, or I'm sorry, the 430 over to the 420 is super easy. There's literally 1, 2, 3 bolts and a gasket between here, and 3 bolts on that cover and another gasket. And basically this PTO shaft will pull out, and I'll flip it over and I'll stick it in there, and I'll move the cover from the 420 to the 430. The problem, or the thing that makes it difficult, is it's full of transmission fluid. So I'm going to do my best to get some clean containers and drain the oil into the clean containers, swap the PTO shaft from one tractor to the other, and then refill with oil, because the oil is not cheap. And both of these tractors have good oil in them, so there's no sense wasting it. So anyway, that's my task for the day. Let's see how big of a mess we can make. I'm going to try something that I'm probably going to regret. I'm going to just pull these bolts out and pull the PTO shaft without draining the oil. I mean, why drain any more than I got to, right? I don't know. It seems kind of crazy. Let's try it. Yeah, typically I would recommend draining the oil first, but like I said, in this case I think we're just going to go for it. Now what I would do is loosen these up a bit first before you just go willy-nilly yanking this thing out, because as you can see, I'm getting some paint chips and some gunk and stuff out of there, and it's going into my clean container. So now that I've gotten loosened them up, I'll wipe these off a bit, because I don't want this stuff dropping into my oil. Clean that off. I will wipe out my tray. Make sure that it's clean. Alright. So, if I remember right, I thought there was like a jacking bolt on these, but I'm not seeing that here. This was the bolt that was on there to hold the guard on. So it might be just it. So I'm just gonna grab this thing and shake it around, and oh yeah, it'll come out real good. Let's get these bolts loosened up a little more. See how much of a mess we can make. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend pulling these bolts all the way off and just yanking this thing, because that would be uncontrollable. Alright, this should work. Oh yeah, it's gonna slide out real good. No oil yet. Maybe I'll get lucky. I know the oil's got to be at least that high. Alright, that bolt's loose. I guess we are taking the bolts out. Alright. Let's just take our time with this. Alright, let me move these bolts off to the side. 1, 2. Oh, I gotta love the smell. Alright, let's see what happens here. I got a little more crud in here. Alright. This is gonna be exciting, I can just tell. Looks like taking down a beaver dam. Oh, there we go. That really was not too bad. I guess there's another seal in there. No shit. Sweet. I'm glad I didn't drain all the oil. That'd have been a waste of time. Alright. So, it appears there's another seal in there. And this, I guess that would make sense. Alright. Well, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to eventually clean that out and make a new gasket for the cover plate. So now that we got the PTO shaft out, which was way easier than I thought, let's shift our attention over here and pull this cover off. I'm hoping we have the same look, which we should. Oh, I didn't realize it had another seal on the inside like that. All right. Wow, this is going to be super easy then. So if you don't know, I looked online to see how much one of these PTO shafts was going to cost, because this gentleman, whose name will be left unnamed, he's kind of a private guy, and I respect that. But anyway, he wanted the PTO shaft, and I said, yeah, I'll go online, I'll grab a PTO shaft, I'll put it in for you, no problem. So I looked on eBay today, and there was 2 PTO shafts on there. One was $600, and the other one was $675. So I came home and saw mine on the 430 and said, oh, I'll never use it. So, all right, so now that's off. Yeah, so needless to say, he's getting my PTO shaft. I think I'm going to have to get a screwdriver to pry and twist, and that cover should drop off. I have one over here. All right, I'm back. And I think this cover has a little recess. It's not just a flat cover, if I remember right, but it's been a while. Let's see here if we can. There we go. Look at that. Not a drop of oil. I guess that seals better than mine. Thing's completely dry inside. Sweet. This is going way easier than I thought it was going to be. All right, so let me shift our focus back over here. I'm gonna clean this one up a little bit, just to get all this gunky, goofy, groupy goof off. Wow, I just sounded like a 3-year-old. Anyway, I'm gonna clean this up and we'll throw it in. All right, so got the PTO shaft, and I'm sure I'm gonna have to finagle it through this frame here somehow. Get it twisted around, there we go. And as I insert it, I'll probably have to turn the shaft to get it to line up with the splines. There we go. Now, it's popping out on me, that's all right. Push it back in and get these bolts started. And I'm gonna engage the PTO to make sure this doesn't turn, because right now it's just in neutral. I can hear it turning in the gearbox, but just as a way to check. All right, I'm gonna go, just so you see how this works. Engage the PTO lever, and it shouldn't turn now. It should be locked in place. There we go. So now I know the PTO shaft's going to work. So disengage it. I'll finish putting the bolts in, and we'll be good to go. So here's disengaged. You should spin freely again. There we go. PTO shaft installed. Get the 3 bolts in, get the cover on mine, and wrap it up. So, lesson learned, sometimes you got to take risks. I almost drained out both of these transmissions of all this gear oil for nothing. So I guess if I read the book, I probably would have seen that too, but I definitely saved myself a lot of time. So anyway, learned something new. All right, I'm gonna start the 420 just to try out the new PTO shaft, make sure it works. Should be good to go, but always like to check. Alright, there's the tractor running in neutral, no PTO engagement. I'm going to push down the clutch, engage the PTO, and let off the clutch. There we go. Like butter! Alright, well, there she is for the last time. Like I said, the new owner is private, and I respect that, so I'm not going to have any video over there unloading and loading the new piece. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm sure some of you probably think that I'm crazy for trading this for what I'm getting, and some of you might think that I'm not. I think it's a fair deal for both of us, which, you know, I always tell my kids, the only good deals are where both parties are happy. So I think we've come to that between me and him. So this other one's just going to suit me better. Like I said, obviously it's got a loader. That's all I'll give you for now. But just know that I have tight quarters and need to be able to move things around in a small area. This one's just a little too long. I mean, this is let me back up here. That's a 24-foot trailer, and yeah, takes up a good 2/3 of it anyway. So, all right, well, I'm gonna end this video here, and the next time should have the new piece on the trailer. Well, here she is. This is a I don't know, I think it's like a mid-80s John Deere 90 skid steer. I got this thing, I don't know, a couple years back. Had it for about a year, sold it about a year ago, and had the opportunity to get it back. So, like I said, new piece of machinery, got a loader, and definitely smaller than the 420, so easy to get around my my property. So yeah, it's a little different than your standard skid steer. This T-handle here, forward goes forward, back is reverse, and then you got to kind of, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but you got to pivot it almost like a steering wheel to make your turns. And then the foot pedals down here are for raising and lowering the bucket and tilting the bucket. So the hour meter does work. It's got, looks like 1535. I doubt that's rolled over, so that's probably about right. Yeah, needs some love. My favorite hydraulic hoses, but we used to use this thing. My buddy Brian and I, we went to a house and we recovered a John Deere 420 tractor, and we moved all kinds of stuff out of the woods. A disc set. I think this has got a Kohler, if I remember right. Yeah, it's got a Kohler. I doubt that's original, but dual exhaust, yeah, buddy. When I got this thing here down a rabbit hole, it did not have the roll cage on it. It was just a flat no cage, so little sketchy. If you've ever driven a skid steer that didn't have a cage, yeah, you definitely think 3 or 4 times about what you're doing. But anyway, I built this roll cage for it. I think it was like 2x3 channel. Got some grab bars on here, gusseted it out all the corners. So I'm not a welder by trade, but I think I did a pretty good job. Anyway, it serves its purpose. Yeah, so anyway, glad to have it back. I'll end up doing a video on this thing on its own, just kind of go through it, but cool, neat piece of equipment. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Peace.